what I was going to say prior to what I just addressed was that a saying that I have literally been saying and teaching people for years is that if you don't eat right, you cannot, you cannot think right. If you do not eat right, you cannot think right. Okay? Because what people are not realizing is that food affects just about everything that's going on in your life. Okay? In one way or another. Okay? So it can either be a tool that will heal you, or it will be the tool that will kill you. And I've been saying that since before I even got my first certification as a personal trainer. Okay. So this is the thing. You can utilize the wrong food, processed foods, these fake foods, these GMO bioengineered foods, these, you know, soy filled foods, the impossible foods, and 3D printed food, and cloned foods, and, you know, fake meat, and all this crazy stuff, right? You can eat those things, and the processed foods and the chemicals that are in these foods, and the bioengineered and the herbicides and pesticides that are in these foods, are causing what a lot of people are diagnosing and misdiagnosing. I call it a false positive for mental health and mental health issues, mood instabilities. This dude got to come and do all this when I start recording. So, anyways, excuse the loud truck in the background, okay? Now, usually, what's crazy is when I'm not over here recording, this dude be coming in the middle of the night. It's like 10:39 right now. He be coming like 2, 3 o'clock in the AM, like them witching hours. That's when he be coming over here. But all of a sudden, I'm over here. He had to rush on over here so he could come over here and do this and kick up some dust, you know, while I'm recording, right? So, anyways, we're gonna you know, not allow that to be a distraction. Okay, say hi to Nieve Tigre. What's up, Nieve Tigre? What's up? What's up, my baby? Nieve, my baby. Okay, so Nieve Tigre, I want everybody to pray in, you know, positive intentions for Nieve Tigre, because he just lost his girlfriend. Okay, and so he's been a little bit sad. Not a little bit, he's been a lot of bit sad, and I have been attempting to give him extra love and comfort because of his loss. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was sad. I've been a little sad too about it, but you know, I prayed over his kitty girlfriend's spirit, and you know, prayed because of the way that she died being hit by a car. Just disrespectful. Disrespectful. Um, anyways, you know, yeah, it's a distraction. We're gonna scratch that. So, getting back to what I was stating about Nieve Tigre, put his kitty heart in your prayers that he can have peace and comfort and ministering angels to soothe his you know, heart at this time, because you know, animals have love and they have emotions, and his kitty emotions are, you know, something that needs comforting right now. Okay. um you know, it was very interesting that him and this specific cat at first, you know, when they met as kittens, they didn't really get along, and he would chase the kitten off because I was his human and he was very territorial. He did not want, other cats around me, but they actually, because I was feeding her as well, um, they actually grew a bond, and they became, a little kitty item. And so I was, expecting this beautiful calico, mainly black, uh, that looks like a spider web floating. What is it? Is this a real? This is a real spider web. Oh, that's a real spider web. That thing was thick. It was sticky. I don't know where it's coming from, but that's interesting. Anybody know what that means spiritually when spider webs are just flying in your videos? Let me know in the comments, okay? Because, you know, this truck is way over there, doing the cleaning of the actual concrete, the parking lot. That don't have nothing to do with busting spider webs in these corners of the building. Ain't nobody else over here. Anyway, well, hold on. Let me check up. On on the roofs, because I don't see nothing in my video. I ain't seen nobody pop out or anything. So, gotta stay vigilant and with your head on the swivel. So, anyways, yes. So, actually, you know, getting to the root of the cause of these mental health issues, I'm gonna say professionally, and I'll put my reputation on the line for this, that mental health is bullshit. Yeah. Let's balance out people's nutrition, right? Which is their gut health, pineal glands, just their overall health in general is under attack. People's health is under attack. Okay? So I challenge people to get their nutrition in check, which is 75% of your fitness results, right? So, a lot of fitness trainers, they're going to be upset that I'm spilling the tea on this. We would always let people know that, in the gyms that I worked in, that nutrition was 75% of people's results, right? However, it was a lot of trainers that would state that and like devalue what that 75% actually really meant to the whole fitness program, and there is a infomercial or some kind of like online fitness training ad that I seen, that this misnomered, misidentified black man, African American man who's indigenous, I'm sure, was actually stating how nutrition was not addressed in regular fitness programs at the gyms. I don't know where he got that information from or what gyms he was exposed to. However, many corporate gyms actually had entire fitness programs that included supplementation and nutrition plans. Not only nutrition plans, some of them actually had, where they like filled out what they were allergic to and all kinds of stuff like that. So anyways, this guy was like trying to state, oh, you don't need a certification and you don't have to be, trained or any of this stuff. You can just start where you're at, and people, we're giving them nutrition plans and and gyms aren't doing that, and in-person training is like, basically he was like trying to say in-person personal training is garbage, and I was like, no, that's not true either. And that basically it was all about holding people accountable. So yes, holding people accountable in a online fitness program, okay, that's great. However, there are benefits, right, to having an in the flesh human being fitness training you. Okay, so let me address that really quick because I just gotta, and we going off on tangents. I know it. Okay, so addressing that, um, you know, the problem with that kind of thought process is that what he doesn't realize, I'm sure, is that, or what he hasn't taken into account is that even the pros, right? I'm not even going to say a lot of them, okay? I'm going to say and state all of the pros have coaches, trainers, and other experts in their specific fields that are getting that individual to that next level. And how can they do that? Because they can see things that you cannot see. Not in no gym mirror, not in your home mirror. That only having another set of eyes at different angles that can see how you might be in improper order, or your kinetic chain, okay, or your, what we would break that down to be, your posterior, right, body, your body is not in proper alignment, right, when you're actually executing exercises. Okay, so if you are not in proper alignment, right, when you're doing those workouts in those online exercise programs, or even with the trainer, or even on your own, right, you can exacerbate weak muscles. You can cause micro tears, damage to your muscles, or just plain out blatant blunt injuries, okay? Brutal injuries. Like, I'm talking about people snapping biceps and, pectoral muscles. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have a professional there. They're keeping them safe, right? Spotting them. So, hold on. Listen, there's so many different aspects that an in the flesh human being that is actually a professional can actually do for people. Okay, so this whole online thing, okay, that's cool. However, I wouldn't even allow my clients to do exercises on their own until I knew that they could do that specific exercise properly and in the proper form. Okay, so, and they knew, the, I didn't really use that much equipment, but they knew basically what you would consider the biomechanics of how the body is actually supposed to move and operate. Hey, Mama Kitty. Hi. Hey, Mama Kitty. I love you. Anyways, Mama Kitty's here. I'm not gonna put her on camera because I don't know if she want. You want to be on camera? You want to be on camera? Can I put you on camera, little kitty? Yeah? Okay, she sat down. Okay. There's Mama Kitty. Oh, she's so beautiful. Say hi, Mama Kitty. You want to say hi to my subscribers? Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I they just listen. People say, "Oh, the cat lady, the cat lady." Well, I'm proud to be the cat lady. Okay, cats love me. Okay, animals love me. Insects love me. The whole omniverse and nature loves me. Okay, and I love them too. Okay, so it is what it is. So you can call me what you want to call, but the elders just said that it ain't what they call you, baby. It's what you answer to. Okay, so yeah, I'll answer to the cat lady. Cause I'm probably the real freaking cat woman, okay? Y'all just find it out. Anyways, I really do feel like I must have been a cat in a past life because I really do relate to the kitty cats. I do. Yeah. So, anyways, enough of that. So, let me get back to the topic at hand because there's a lot of topics in this. Mental health is bullshit. And I'm going to be the first to tell you because I'm not politically correct and I don't what, you know, these people think in opposition or want to say and don't want me to say, and like that's not my problem, okay? Because what I have to say, I'm gonna say it, okay? And they're attempting to push this whole mental health thing. However, it is inappropriate. It is a farce. It is a facade. And I even noticed that that was going on even when I was false imprisoned for 6 months, 2 different times at 2 different jails, prisons. I don't know what they were technically because, correctional facility is like a jail, is, excuse me, like a prison. It's termed as a prison. So, anyways, the point is that looking at even their food that they were serving, the false imprisoned, the kidnapped, and the actual criminals, they were literally strategically feeding food that was that could cause riots. Okay, so I really think that a lot of these inmates got some real like claims to lawsuits because if they are feeding, let's say masculines, uh, under the proper amount of, let's say, caloric intake, right? Or fuel, they're giving them less fuel than they need, or leaving people in a deficient state of many different nutrients, minerals, and vitamins, and all this stuff. You're causing, based on food choices that they don't have, right? Alone, you are causing these imbalances and deficiencies that are causing false positives for mental health. Okay, now fast forward to, or let's jump outside of those walls and into, society and into these, store-bought foods, and you literally have the same thing going on. Really? It's a macro to the micro, right? Because these, processed foods, going even into the fake fruits and vegetables, or GMOs, or seedless, or uh, herbicide and pesticide, contaminated, right? All of these things are wreaking havoc on your mental health. If you're not getting the proper nutrients, if you're not getting the proper minerals, right, percentages, right, for your body, if you're not getting a viable, water that you can actually assimilate in your body, right, process in your body, you're dehydrated still. You're, consuming neurotoxins, right, that are actually affecting your brain function. Okay? You cannot tell me that when you're eating these toxic, poisonous chemicals that are changing your brain chemistry, that it is not causing alleged mental health. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. It's causing mental health. And so if you balance out, I'm challenging people, balance out your nutrition, that's proper for you, not just going on some fad diet. Oh, this is cool. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it, right? So you're going to do it because everybody's doing it, but that is not what is appropriate for you. You got to find out, and you have to, figure out what is going to be appropriate for your body and your chemistry, your DNA, your blood type, your muscle fiber type, right? And then adjust it to what your fitness goals are, okay? Or incorporate that into what you're attempting to achieve with your fitness goals, okay? Because those, taking all of that data, and then you have different fitness goals, because people have different fitness goals, that's going to change. Like, you have 5 people, but they have, which this is not accurate, but I'm just giving you an example. Let's say you had 5 of the same individual, okay, clones, I don't know, and they had the same exact nutritional needs, okay? Then if they each had different fitness goals, then their plans are going to be different by that degree, okay? They're not going to have the same plan. I just said that so it would be an example that you could understand that even the same individual, if they have different fitness goals, it's going to be different, okay? So you thinking that you eating in some kind of diet fad nutrition is not a one size fits all. Fitness is not a one size fits all. Every single body, like individual vessel, temple, body, car, whatever you want to call it, this requires maybe similar, okay? It could be similar to certain populations of people, okay? But it's not going to be exact, okay? You have people in the same household that shouldn't be eating the same things. Mothers, fathers, with in comparison to even their children, okay? So the thing is that people have to eat right for themselves, okay? And it is a science, and it can be figured out, but a lot of, my nose is itching. A lot of people don't actually have that science down that they think that they do, because they are attempting to make it more cookie cutter and say, okay, this is appropriate for all of this population, and even that is not appropriate, okay? So you got a population of, let's say, diabetics, okay? They still shouldn't be having a blanket nutritional plan. That's what I'm saying. Every individual needs their own individual plan, okay? And so anyways, my challenge to people is, once you have balanced out your nutrition, you have good water, right? Your sleep is right. Your proportions are right. Okay? A lot of other things are going to fall into place, and you're going to see not only your overall morale, right? Your vibration, whatever, your frequency, whatever you want to call it, right? Is you're going to be happier automatically, right? When you balance things out and you have your proper amount of, minerals and nutrients, and your gut health is good, and you have your body functioning as it should in proper order. Everything is balanced, right? That was what I did professionally, is not only getting people from point A to point B to some designated fitness goal, right? But teaching them along the way how to take control of and realize how to train themselves, how to continue this with or without me, how to be their own fitness expert, their own fitness trainer, okay? And showing them the tools that they needed for themselves, right? So that's what a fitness expert can do in the flesh. Like, there's certain things that just don't come across fully, or if you have a question, think about it like this. So you're on an online fitness program, and I'm not totally against, that's not what I'm saying, online fitness programs. But an online fitness program is like an automated system, and you calling that business and wanting to speak to a live human because you have a out of the box kind of question that their answering service or their, automated system does not answer, right? But it's a legitimate question, and you really need that question answered, right? So you can have understanding, overstanding, outerstanding, and understanding, right, of whatever it is that you are being taught. And there are people that they need that hands-on, they require that as a learning modality, right? That's the way that they actually learn. So if they don't have somebody there to actually explain it in a way that they get it, then they might not get it. And there's just so many reasons and ways that is incorrect. So I did want to address that. But the main thing that people are attempting to push right now is this mental health. I'm going to state and put my reputation on the line, right, by stating this, because a lot of these professionals, if you're really a professional, then you know that it has to do with this horrible, poor, subpar food. And if you want to say and state that it is something different, okay, of why a lot of these people, I'm going to say 95% of these people with false positive mental health issues, it is stemming from food, right? Whether their gut flora is off, whether they got that, what is it? H. pylori bacteria, if they got parasites, right? That is actually having them eat sugar, crave sugar, so that they can, gain more disease like Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, all these different things, right? It is food. Listen, what you put in your mouth is huge. Anyways, okay, I just got the ding. I don't know if you guys heard it, but my battery is low. So I'm gonna end this video here, and I hope that it assisted you. If you guys have any questions, or if you want me to really like delve into, because I could do diagrams and do the whole nine. I probably should, actually do that. But if you guys want me to do on any of these specific topics and like really go in, I could go in, and just let me know which ones you want me to go in on, and like what kind of questions you guys have or whatever in the comments, okay? All right, until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.